club. It's going to be very tough for Mankato Loyola to get back in it.
And Bauman, who has put a very aggressive defense together. Fairly basic offense. A ground slammer past Matt Rogers. And that'll be a brief return by Ho, and will, with 15 seconds to go, 14-yard return it will be. And that will set up 1st and 10 at the 30 for Mankato Loyola. There are the numbers late in the first half. Ryan Kirby, the senior, is first man up on the ball. He's the center. Colin Rogness, the junior quarterback. There goes the hand. And crossing inside, Matt Rogers, brought down by Dwayne Liebel, the senior defensive right tackle. And that is the end of the first half. So a fumble recovery, and 3 plays later, another touchdown on an 8-yard run. And the defending champion Mahnomen Indians are in the saddle. It is halftime in the Class C championship game at Prep Bowl 10 at the Metrodome. And the score, the Mahnomen Indians 21 and the Mankato Loyola Crusaders nothing. And brother, we have seen, Jim, Mahnomen sparkle on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they have. Ken Bauman probably getting everything he wished for. A big play early to give his team some momentum, turn it over to their defense, which has been very stingy, and wear them down offensively. And if you can get those turnovers thrown in like the Crusaders coughed up at the end, why, that's a bonus.
Mahnomen Indians coming in with a perfect 13-0 record. Ken Bauman has been at the helm of the Indian football team for 23 seasons. He's got a nice lead at the halftime, and he's down now with Perry Williams. Perry?
Well, Coach, I hear you're saying it's not over till it's over, an old saying, but you've been around this game a long time, and you know that's probably is indeed the case.
Well, yeah, they're a very explosive football team. We've got to come out and continue our intensity and keep executing defensively and offensively like we did the first half.
Obviously a very impressive first half, especially on the ground, but you've seen Jason Miller do this all the years he's been with you.
Yeah, that's not uncommon for us to see. Those of us who have seen him perform for 3 years have seen him get better and better as each year has progressed, and he's a very determined young man.
Speaking of young men, they're in the locker room. I know you got to get there shortly, but you have a 21-0 lead. How do you maintain that intensity? What are some of the things you're going to say to your squad?
Well, we just remind them there's 24 minutes left of a season. We've got 11 seniors that have put in an awful lot of time with this program, and they're not going to lay down and quit now. They're going to keep coming hard, and they'll go along with our philosophy of always playing as hard as they can, as long as they can. So
the fact that you've had the experience playing here before, that's got to be a big advantage, don't you think? And not only during the playoffs, but of course last year in a title game.
Well, I don't know how much of an advantage that really is. You know, they've played here 3 times too, so maybe the atmosphere of the Prep Bowl and the final game, maybe that has something to do with it. But you know, our kids are really executing. Our offensive line's coming off the ball and knocking some people around right now, and hopefully we can continue that.
Well, offensive lineman, I was one myself. We don't get a whole lot of credit, so I know that is certainly due.
No, that's right. And Jason Miller and Eric Bellinger will be the first ones to admit they pat those kids on the back all the time. So very good team effort to this point.
Okay, now you want to get in the locker room. Thanks for stopping by. Excellent first half. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Ken Bauman joining us here at halftime. His team is up 21-0 in our Class C championship game, but we have a whole lot more to come here for the Metrodome. Back with more halftime festivities right after this.
Hi, I'm Shane Baker down on the sidelines with 3 members of the Mahnomen Band. Could you introduce yourselves and tell us your grade?
Hi, I'm Amy Gish. I'm a senior.
Hello, I'm Gail Liebel. I'm a senior.
I'm Pam Reller, and I'm also a senior.
Now, Mahnomen is traditionally a football powerhouse. How does the team use that to motivate themselves?
It gets the young underclassmen really excited, and they get into the, I don't know, they get into the spirit of the things, and they really want to be the best like we have been in the years past.
What makes this a great Mahnomen team?
I think the players never give up. They always have hope, and they always have a feeling that they're, that they can win and they can do it. And Mr. Bauman, I think, generates a lot of that power since he's been coached for so long, and he's helped out a lot too. And we have a lot of fans that always want to make the trip down here.
And what's going to be the key to the second half so they can keep being successful?
Just keep working hard and keep their spirit up like they have the rest of the season. Football's such a tradition in Mahnomen, and this is just a chance for them to show what they can do.
How's the outlook look? Do you think you can take it from here?
Yes. Yeah. It's very positive.
Yeah, very positive.
Thanks a lot. Back up. We'll take you to commercial.
We're at halftime of our Class C championship game. The Mahnomen Indians have had it all their way, 21-0 over Mankato Loyola. The semifinals, of course, were played inside the Metrodome last weekend. Each team with a outstanding performance to claim their position here in the championship, and we'd like to review the highlights from those games at this time. Mankato Loyola was up against Mountain Lake Butterfield Odin, and they won that contest by a count of 27-13, and they were able to jump out in front quickly. And this is a little bit of what worries me about whether they'll be able to come back. They were able to break on top with that 12-yard touchdown run by Mike Sistrunk, who looks kind of like the bowling ball type back, but when he gets outside, he's got the speed. Look at him here on this 66-yard effort, finds a seam, gets to the outside, and then outruns the Mountain Lake Butterfield Odin defenders and goes for a touchdown. In that game, he had just 10 carries, but for 133 yards. And then when Rognus pitched out here, faking to Sistrunk, going back to Matt Rogers for a score, it was 20-0 for Mankato Loyola, and they wound up winning that game by a count of 27-13. Now, Mahnomen was going against a very stingy Browerville team, as we pointed out a little bit earlier. They had shut almost everybody down. They had a number of shutouts on the year, make it 5 coming into that game, and Mahnomen took it right to them. Jason Miller, an outstanding game there, wearing the dark shirt this time. Number 22 is yanked into the end zone there on a 3-yard touchdown run. And then we'll show you some of that speed that he exhibited here in the first half as well. That pitch to the right side. He breaks, cuts back a defender, runs through the arms of 2 more, and then there's nobody there that can match his speed. He goes 86 yards for the score, and Mahnomen was on top there, and with their grinded out game, were able to complete the victory over Browerville. It was 12-0 at that point. Miller's 3rd touchdown made it 19-0. He had 16 carries for 168 yards in that game, and it looks like he's going to blow past that performance here this afternoon in the finals. Jason Miller, he was dominant last year when Mahnomen won it, and he's been great again here today, leading Ken Bauman's tribe to a big halftime lead of 21-0. They led that game by 19-0, wound up winning it 38-6 over a very good team from Browerville. So we're moments away from seeing whether Mankato Loyola can do anything about getting back into this one, Doug.
I was mentioning earlier that that good Browerville team had a whale of a defense, and so to beat a team like that 38-6, that's a team that had posted 5 shutouts and allowed exactly 23 points all year. I don't mean in a game. I don't mean in a half. I mean all year. And they're home watching it now on television. So it gives you an idea how much damage can be done when a team really gets itself cranked up and moving. And the Mahnomen Indians, coming out of the Heart of the Lakes Conference, really blew through some people this year, but you know, you wonder sometimes with a team exactly how good it is. I mean, this is a team that lost 17 seniors after last year, and among the 17 seniors, their quarterback Jeremy Oakland, but they put it together and come back. First half highlights, let's look at it. It's all Mahnomen.
I have no doubt that the experience of being here helps, regardless of the fact that Mankato Loyola was able to play a number of playoff games here. And when you've got a player with this kind of talent, the cutback ability, and then the sheer speed, this is very similar to the 86-yard run we saw in the other game, in the semifinal game over Browerville. He makes people miss. And then if there's nobody there, if he's got an even start with anybody else, he's going to outrun them.
Jason Miller, 51-yard touchdown run, and now he does it again on a 20-yard scamper. And look at this. They think about him. Surprise.
We've got the speed and the strength. It's a very deadly combination, particularly at this level. Miller getting his 2nd touchdown. And then after the fumble recovery at the 17-yard line of Mankato.
Big fumble recovery, yeah.
With less than 2 minutes to play in the half.
21 seconds to go in the half, and Eric Bellinger, the fullback, carries it in here.
Short drive. It was after the turnover. They had all their timeouts, so they had plenty of time. They still had 2 timeouts when they scored there, so that play wasn't as risky as it may have looked trying a run there. And Mahnomen is just able to make the big plays when it counts. And statistically, things kind of reflect that. 2-1 in the yardage department. And all on the ground for Mahnomen, as is Ken Bauman's way, but it's very effective.
Nobody really going to the air, and no real need to, at least so far in the game for Mahnomen. And the question now remains, with a team that has been moving the ball very well, as Mahnomen has, and has a clear 21-0 lead at halftime, you can't really make adjustments in that radar defense, but Mankato Loyola is going to have to count on that to try to contain the Indians somewhere along the way, and they've got to get some offense going. They fumbled the ball 3 times in the game so far, lost 2 of them, one of which led to that touchdown we just saw by Bellinger late in the half.
I think if the radar has any responsibility, it's to turn the ball over themselves, because they've given up turnovers without creating them, and Loyola's going to need something to get back in it.
All right, let's go down to the sidelines now, and here's Perry Williams.
Well, thank you, Doug. With Jeff Darlene of the Crusaders. Jeff, what was said in halftime to try to regroup?
Well, we just tried to get everybody back together. You know, things kind of went to pot there at the end a little bit, and we just tried to regroup a little bit. And we went over some adjustments we're going to try to make. And the big thing is, you know, that Miller is a great back, and we've had good contact with him. We've had bodies on him. We just haven't finished the job when we've been there. And we just talked about tackling a little bit, pursuit angles, and, you know, offensively, we just worked on a couple schemes that we have to do a little bit better in the second half.
Have you seen anybody all year as quick, as fast as Jason Miller?
Well, I think we've seen people as quick, maybe not as fast in the open field, obviously, when he gets out there, but we haven't seen anybody that's that hard to bring down. Because he's, you know, we've hit him pretty hard, but we haven't been able to wrap him up, because that's what we really have to do this half.
It looked like, too, you had your opportunities. A couple turnovers hurt you, especially opening moments. After they scored their first touchdown, you had the fumble deep in territory after a pretty nice drive, and that kind of, I guess, to stub your toe a little bit there.
Yeah, we had the 2 big turnovers, the one going in and then the one right at the end of the half that gave him a touchdown right at the end there. And, you know, we just have to play within ourselves. We've got a good scheme. We've got a balanced offense. And we have to remember that it's not one guy going out there trying to do the job all by himself.
You know, a 21-0 deficit, as Coach Bauman on the other side knows, it ain't over, it's over. Is that what you said to your team as well?
Well, we told our kids, you know, if you think it's over, don't come out of the locker room. We think we're going to come out and play good football this half, and we're going to show them that we're going to hit.
Well, it's been a great season. I know a lot of people didn't expect you to be here, but here you are fighting for a state championship.
You know, it has been a good season. We talked to our kids before we came out, and we said, you know, no matter what happens, let's have a good half of football here and play them at least even or beat them up a little bit in the second half, so we've got something good to look back at, because we don't want to end it the way we ended the first half.
Well, congratulations on a great season, and good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Thanks. So that's the situation. Mankato Loyola, certainly the Crusaders have their work cut out for them. They trail 21-0 here going into the third quarter, but we'll see what happens. Mahnomen, of course, has a lot of experience on their side. The Indians winning the state championship a year ago, only 24 minutes away. The Crusaders stand in their way, but the Indians up by 21. Let's go back upstairs to Jim and Duck.
All right, Perry, 21-0. Third quarter about ready to begin. KMSP Television has purchased the broadcast rights to the 1991 Minnesota State High School Prep Bowl. No broadcast, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this copyrighted telecast are permitted without the written authority of KMSP Television and the Minnesota State High School League. With Jim Gilliland, this is Doug McLeod. I sent a questionnaire around to each of the coaches. Fax is a wonderful thing. Sometimes you get interesting stuff back. Comments from Jeff Darlene. What, if you were coaching against your team, what would you do to beat it? His response was, power inside running gives us trouble and contains us on defense. What have we seen? Power inside run after power inside run from Jason Miller, Eric Bellinger, and to a lesser extent from Troutner on the other side, but Miller and Bellinger particularly. So I thought it was very interesting. That's what he wrote on the forum. And sure indeed, that's what's led to a 21-0 Mahnomen lead plus a key turnover.
Yeah, even his comments kind of reflected that when he said we've been able to get to Miller. His speed he didn't think had bothered him that much as his ability to break tackles, which is the power game. And Miller's been able to get himself loose from the initial contact, pick up substantial yardage, and then when he does clear himself, why, he does have the fabulous speed.
Aaron Fogel is set to kick for the Mankato Loyola Crusaders, down 21-0 at halftime. And it'll be hauled in at the 12-yard line by Miller, and here